Hello and welcome to ALW Research Team. This is Bass Brewers Cannon Brewery in Sheffield. It's been done many times by other urban explorers, but we had the opportunity to come here today as it was open, and here we are. So we're going to explore this place. Closed in the 1990s when Molson Coors bought Bass Breweries, and Stone's Bitter was produced here, being its mainstay was Stone's Bitter. This was the biggest brewer of Stone's Bitter up until the late 90s when this closed down. It's like an old saw. And lots of stair-foot bricks. We saw these on the Hull and Barnsley Railway series. I'm just going to take a look around here. I think Dave's gone in this bit. I'm just going to get under there, so I'll see you in a moment. So large rooms here in the first part of the building that we're going to explore. Got an old axial fan there for ventilation. The door's wide open there. I just climbed underneath that fence. Oh, is that the basement? So we'll look down this spiral staircase. This is the basement. That's what we've got down here then. Smells very abandoned. There's that sort of settled dust smell down here. This was probably a large store area. God, it's big because it goes underneath the actual loading area. And it goes underneath that loading area as well. That gets us back to where we were. Got an old Lamotte beer bottle basket there. Let's go this way. See how far this goes. This looks like it continues on. God, it's massive. Old locker room. There's multi-locker room here. All of your boots. Totally ransacked. So that's a Honda Fireblade. That's they call that a fox-eyed Fireblade from the 1990s. The newspaper there. When's that from? 1998. Friday 24th of July. Cask beer. February 1996. It's like a training document. Bass Brewers Technical Training. Like a training docket. Bungs and pegs. So that's someone's training portfolio just left behind in the locker room. There's another one there amongst the boots and the cigarette packets. There's old payslip there. Private and confidential. Mr. P.L. Lowe. It's got the bass symbol on there. He got paid £390 in 1997. 20th of March 1997. Bass Brewers. Looks like it's flooded down here at some point. Harry the photographer there. As we get into this larger area, there's a big drum there. These look a little bit like hot liquor tanks. And there's some steel armour in there from a cable that's been stripped. So it looks like now we're in the actual part where the beer was brewed. We've got the ventilation here, big vent duct in. And we've got an office there. Manual handling, slip strips and falls. So this looks like it was an engineering manual down there, so it looks like an engineering office. And we've got the health and safety poster there from 1995. Quick look in there. Some documents on the floor. What we've got here. So that's a manual handling docket, and it's into brewing. That's hearing, so that's about noise, so this is a health and safety document of some sort. Regulations supporting the code of practice for legal framework within employers, so this is a trade union type thing. So this is someone's personal document, personal folder, by the looks of that. Internal use only. This looks like it was almost like a HR office or a personnel's documents office. As we've got here, best before labels, that they would have stuck these on the barrels. 22nd of July 1998. Stones Bitter. Hey look, it's Exploring Dave.
Hello, good evening and welcome.
Have you ever drunk a pint of Stones Bitter?
Stones, oh yeah, I used to drink it regular.
Did you?
Yeah.
So chances are it was brewed here and you drank it.
I didn't drink it here.
No, where did you drink it?
Wickham Arms in Cleckheaton.
Oh wow.
Yeah, many a moon ago when I were I'm going to say a little lad, but I'm not so big now. I was even littler, believe it or not.
Could we potentially say in the olden days?
In the olden days, in days of old when nights were bold.
Yeah?
Yeah, not quite that old, no.
No. Would you say this was a hot liquor tank, Dave?
Yes.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
It does look like it. Yes.
And it's had wood around it, and that's all been torn off.
Those are all cladded wood.
Oh yeah. FMT1, FMT2. It was in gallons. There's a lot of liquid in there, because that's gallons. It's 600 gallons there, and it's 1,110 gallons at the top. Some electrics there. And this sort of dates it as being more modern, because these types of labels didn't come out until the late 90s. So this was annotated in the late 90s, which we kind of already knew. The date of shutdown, I believe this closed in 1998. This has been like a semi-bonded room here, just for little leaks, just to capture them. You can see above where there's been a lot of pipe work on these hangers, pipes and cables. And there's been a hose on there. It's quite perished now. This looks like natural gas pipe work. This place is a lot bigger than I thought it would be. Got another spiral staircase there, but I don't think we came down that one. Got what looks like an old electrical section here. That massive chain. It looks like it used to haul things along. Like on here, like a travelator. And then there's a large hatch there. So they would load something down, probably barrels, and then filled them up down here. Stones dry hops, Bass special bitter dry hops, Bass light and Bass mild. Wow. Just notice this chain is actually plastic. It's just a plastic chain, so it wasn't for like heavy loads, it was just to move a constant amount of lightweight materials such as empty beer barrels. A staircase to go up there, and a large lift there, goods lift. More office areas. And another spiral staircase. So that's 3 we've seen up to now. Again, I'm sure that isn't the one I came down. Can anyone remember this from the late 90s? Investors in people. You remember that? You're our investment. It won't when they shut the place though. An old Xerox machine. See, they haven't even had time to take the photocopier away. And that was probably in these offices here. Little admin office. Electrical switch room there. Bottom of hop store stairwell. Houses through here. Another staircase. I can't believe how many staircases are around here. These like windows. This almost looks like a pub. This area was a pub, opening in 1964 to serve beer to workers and visitors. This area was originally known as the Underground, but was later named the Pig and Whistle. This has been a saloon, hasn't it? This has been the saloon bar for the staff. But there's been some drinking done down here, so there's been possibly a TV up on there. And we'll see some bunting. Some bunting left behind, red, white and blue. And down here there's beer lines. So this has been the tap bar. They look like saloon doors. had to see it like this, all wallpaper, so they've had seating along there. And this has been the bar area. And that's been the bar that's all smashed up and pushed in the corner. This has been the scullery. And there's just a little, this was the cellar. We've got trays there for little platters of food. Old teacup. There's an intact Stones Bass Brewery cup left behind. So that is the pub area there. Ladies' toilets, gents' toilets. So this hasn't served a pint since 1998. What this way? Catch up with the boys. So the pub's over that way. I've come back out. Dave's been down these tunnels. Big tunnels underneath the loading bay. We're just going to go back outside now and look what's above in this brewery. Large caustic soda tanks here, all part of cleaning the barrels when they come back in from the pubs and the working man's clubs. So they'll clean them out with caustic soda, gets rid of all the germs. There's quite a few of the Rybexes here today. Have a look. So I'm just outside with Dave. There's other people here in this part, but we're going to go in that part regardless, because all these buildings here are just, these ones are just like empty, smashed up hulks of buildings. So we're going to head off into here. In 1962, this 5-storey brew house costing £500,000 opened, and this put Cannon Brewery here in Sheffield as one of the most up-to-date brewing houses in the country. Yeah, they pulled the floor away. Oh yeah, and different paintware. They've just scrapped it and torn it to bits. Right, we'll stick together now, Dave.
Okay. We want to be together.
Absolutely.
Folks. Watch out for the first step.
This is it, you come here and when it's dark,
It's a big one.
straight in there.
Yeah.
So it's just a massive room.
Massive room.
So they've had big tanks in here probably. Bulk storage of liquids. So they used to use a lot of caustic soda, all the grains and the oats. This, what looks like a wonderful staircase, going up there one. So up here, that looks like a filter cartridge. That looks like a water softener filter cartridge. And this, I don't know what this area is. Not really sure. What do you think this was, Dave? It's quite an unusual layout.
It is. Yeah. Them were big stairs that went down there, because they go right down into the bottom where they just looked. Heck of a drop.
There's been a metal staircase here. Yeah, looks like it, yeah, and it just yucked it out. Yeah. There's been lots of ventilation about. Tiled, but the floor's different because it's tiled here, concrete here, and then the linoed there. And the lino's all dried up and it's curled the tiles up. Interesting. It shows how barren these sort of places were, because there's a sign saying the telephone is upstairs.
Yeah.
So it was very bare in here, just the basics. Yes, there's quite a few to go up, Dave, to be honest, by the looks of this.
When you look up there.
Reminds me of high school.
Oh, this garden, this is interesting.
Yeah, what we got, Dave?
This is where the copper vats were.
Ah, yeah, the big tanks. Blooming heck. That's big. Oh, there's other people here, by the way.
Wow.
This is.
Would have been one heck of a tank.
Yeah, so they put these. This was put in the 1960s.
Floor above.
Big tank area here. And we've got the cannons on the window. So this was known as Bass Cannon Brewery. Some the cannons on there, look.
Cannon.
Yeah.
Zoom in on that. Cannon.
So now, I would have thought that those holes there would have lined up with these holes here, but they don't. So there was a large tank in here, and then there was a large tank up there as well. It's like multi-staging them all. Oh, and then there's more tanks here. So they weren't just one massive tank, it was several smaller tanks. So suppose it's just one bulk brew at a time, not immense brews. Because I suppose if you got it wrong, you'd have to bin it all and start again. Interesting. For what is a trashed, derelict building, it's very photogenic.
Oh yeah.
It would have been wonderful to have seen this when it was, you know, when all the tanks were in and it was working.
Steaming and bubbling away, it'd have been great. I'm just saying there would have been some heck of a weight in the liquid in these.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have really had to bolster the... But then in the 60s, that was the, you know, the generation of concrete and engineering concrete. They were making such big structures out of concrete at that time, because you can reinforce it with steel.
That's right.
Can you imagine what it would have smelt like in here? Smelt lovely. So, you know Exploring Dave, this is Peter, Tom and Simon. Tom, Peter and Simon are indoor FPV guys, and they're going to be doing some pretty cool stuff. So we're going to get filmed up in here, and then they're going to fly the drones inside, which is something obviously you'll see that I don't do, but these have got little sports drones and they're putting GoPros on them. So I'll put the link in the description box to their channels and check them out. Have a good afternoon, guys.
See you later.
So let's carry on with our explore. Yes, please. Yeah, I'll drop it in the video. And that little clip will be on now. The beautiful art of editing. So, nice to meet you guys. So, moving on. So, we're now at the call point is at floor 3 of the brew house, Cannon Brewery, Rutland Road, Sheffield. And then just going back to the old dimer tape, that's the old school stuff from the 80s. But you can see that's the 90s stuff, the electronic stuff. As we're moving this way, we've got Harry getting some cool pictures of the staircase. And then we've got a large room. This looks like a settling room. What do you think? Because they used to let the beer settle, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'm not a brewer, I'm more of a drinker,
Yeah.
but I have set breweries up, so I'm sure it's like a hot liquor tank, then there's like a fermenting stage, there's like sparging, things like that. I've installed them, but I'm not a brewer. So here we are, a large room here. It looks like this has been broken into smaller rooms at some point within its life, and then broken back up into larger rooms. So we've got a goods lift there. This is the dangers of urban exploring, because that is a 5-storey drop there. So if you do come to these places, be very, very careful. I don't recommend that you do, but if you want to take that risk, be very, very careful, because there's huge drops all over. As we're going up, another flight. Floor 4, lower mill platform. Oh wow! So we're now at the top of the large vats here, the big brew tanks. Random pig. And this is where the concrete starts to meet brick. So we're out onto the roof. Let's turn my light off for this bit. Now I think the ski slope used to be up there somewhere. There used to be. Sheffield had its own ski slope, but it's long gone now. Other channels have explored that. If I can find one of the channels that have done it, I'll put a link in the description box as we look out onto Sheffield. Up again, viewers, to floor 5. Fifth floor. I don't know what this was. Can't tell, it's all bashed up. There's this screen platform. So there would have been metalwork above there. The FPV drone guys are down below. And this is the lift machinery room. Now, the goods lift that I showed you earlier, that'll be accessible through that hatch there. And then this is the controls for it. So when someone pressed a button, these controls here would operate, and it'd either bring the lift motor up or down on here. So there, that's where the motor goes up and down. And then all the controls gear for it are here. So when it gets to a certain floor, one of these fingers would go up and make a contact on there, and that would tell that control system over there that the lift was at a level. And there's also, this was part of the Otis locking gear, which was a safety device fitted to lifts to prevent them falling all the way to the bottom if they went wrong. Now what this did was, this ran up and down, there was no load on this pulley, and if those main cables there snapped, this would notice a difference between the counterweight and the car, because one end of this was measured on the counterweight and the other end of it was on the car. If it went slack, because it would go slack not tight, it would pull the emergency brake on, which was that brake there, that was spring loaded and that would jam on, and that's just a big drum brake. And there's also there's rails that run down the side of the lift and that has teeth on it that would bind in and grab, so the lift would actually jam solid in the shaft and they'd have to be rescued. And that is the lift machinery room here at Cannon Brewery. So we're just going to go out on the roof now. Onto another roof. Looking out onto the rest of Cannon Brewery there. And Sheffield surrounding it. Is it good up there, Harry?
What?
Is it good up there?
It's not bad.
Yeah? Shall I come up?
Definitely.
Up we go, viewers. Just gonna put you down while I climb up. So it looks to me like they've had water tanks up here. So I was saying to the viewers earlier, can you remember where the ski slope was? Was it up there somewhere? The abandoned ski slope. It's gone now. It's on one of these hills. Here, it could have been there where it's all like reconstructed.
Yeah, it looks like quite a steady slope, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a ski slope. And then a bit. Oh, that's that truck yard across the road. I think that's in a bit of a sorry state. There we are. Thank you so much for watching this ALW Research Team video. If you've enjoyed it, please press the subscribe button there if you haven't done already. And why not watch this video here for some more interesting content. Bye bye for now.